So let's get to something that's very hot topic as far as Kamala Harris.
Yes.
And this is it's been some issues, and it's been an interesting week. Reports have come out that she's struggling with black men. Struggling is relative because, like I said, she'll still win the majority of black men. But when you start losing 15%, that matters.
Yes.
To a demographic that usually you would have 90%,
Phoned up, yeah,
92%,
absolutely.
right? Like 85% is a lot. Is a big difference between 85% and 92%.
Yeah.
May not seem like a lot, but it's a big difference.
Yeah.
Especially in states where there's a lot of black men that are swing states, like Georgia, like Pennsylvania, like, Michigan.
Yep.
These are states that, you talking about Detroit, Michigan. That's
Absolutely.
Motown. You talking about
Flint.
Philly.
Yep.
You talking about, you know what I mean? You talking about Flint, Michigan. You talking about Atlanta, Georgia. Like, this is black men.
Yeah.
Capitals. So this is a very interesting conversation because President Barack Obama, he made some news because he spoke to a group of black men and people thought that his tone was condescending.
Yeah.
And they thought that the way that he spoke to them wasn't fair.
Yes.
Let's say that.
Yes.
And he was disappointed in the lack of support that she's getting as opposed to what he got when he ran from black men. And it's been a thing. And the New York Times actually, shout out to my cousin Khaled. He's locked up right now, and it's interesting because when I talk to him, he has his own political views about how criminal justice system works and how candidates are not addressing that issue.
Okay.
And how the inmates in jail feel about different political figures. But he actually told me about the New York Times article because he read it, and I googled the New York Times article, and because the New York Times was there, but I didn't know I never saw what they actually had put out.
Okay.
So they actually wrote an article about black men not supporting Kamala in Georgia and how it's going to cause issues for the Democrats. And they were at InvestFest, so they cited them being at InvestFest. They interviewed somebody at InvestFest who said that he's a lifelong Democrat, but he's not going to vote for any party this year. He's going to write in a candidate.
Wow.
So this leads to a lot of back and forth. People being frustrated with black men, like, you holding up the line, just push it through. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then other people pushing back, like, nah, like, we got a right to kind of hold the line up if we need to. And then there's people saying the media, it's not really even a story. The media is making it a story to use black men as a scapegoat if she does lose, as opposed to holding other groups accountable, like white women. So what's your thoughts on this?
Layered conversation. I think we have to realize that Barack is a once in a lifetime talent across the board. Take politics out of it. Like, rock star level love that he had when he came in at that particular time in 2008. I do think black men do have the right to choose who they want to vote for. What I will say from the Democratic Party, and we talked about this before, Troy, I know you want to chime in. I don't know, you may have been right. I don't know. We'll see. But I think the Democratic Party needs to do a better job at reaching out to us the entire 4 years, not just when they need something. I like parts of the plan, but my first thought was, well, why wasn't this done in August? I know you got in July, but if you're black, my first thought would be, here's a plan for black people, black women, black kids, black men. Week 1. You have to solidify the base. It's a great lesson. Never take any wins for granted until the game is over.
Facts.
There's a lot of money being spent on both sides. People don't want to say it. The election is a little bit closer than they would like it to be. She got a great start. It's interesting to see what the banks are pushing and how they're hedging their bets on who are going to win. But I think for too long, we've been taken for granted on both sides. And anytime you take something for granted, I was having this conversation with you yesterday. Like, I was talking to a friend, he's in media. I'm like, I do 2 shows with y'all all year. I still ask, hey, can I do InvestFest? I don't say, I know I'm going to be on stage. You cannot take anything, any business relationship, any voter for granted. People are over that. Those days of us just automatically put Democrat, even though it could be disastrous, those days are over. And I don't think the Democratic Party has catered to us enough. So
That's a fact. I feel like here's my thing on it, because I actually like her as a person.
I do. Me too.
So like first and foremost.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I get negative feedback for saying that, because I like her as a person.
Yeah.
Like I like you as a person, right?
Like you too. Hey, are you a Democratic chill? Do we get paid to?
I haven't gotten a check.
If you want to send one.
But once again,
yeah,
this isn't personal. It's just business.
It's business.
That's what they say all the time, right? It's not personal. It's business.
Yeah.
I feel like it's bigger than her. It's for the Democratic Party, right? Where they're saying, okay, they're using this as a scapegoat to hold black men accountable for the loss.
Yeah.
Probably true. But it is good that they actually are now starting to care about black men.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's like you saying that black women carried the victory in Georgia for them last time. Well, who's the second biggest voting block percentage-wise after black women? It's black men.
Yeah.
I didn't hear black men carried the vote.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, no, after a time of being ignored, if you ignore somebody enough,
yes.
Well, what do you think is going to happen?
A revolt.
Derek Falcon said something real years ago. He was like, focus on the people that focus on you.
Mm-hmm.
They should have been focusing on black men, because black men has always supported the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Even though they really have gotten nothing from it. Just being honest with you. And then people are like, well, if you don't support, then how are you going to support a racist Trump? I don't think some people really support Trump, but a lot of people they don't care about Trump. It's not about supporting like one or the other. Well, what's the alternative? People are willing to say, I don't worry about the alternative. Let's roll the dice. Because if you've been mistreated for 400 years, look at everything that we've been through in this country. Yeah. We done had the money taken from us. We had the buildings burnt from Black Wall Street. We done had the FBI fucking sabotage our leaders and kill our
COINTELPRO.
We done went through lynching. We done went through mass incarceration. We done went through the government purposely putting drugs in the community, making people drug addicts, right? Like, you done been discriminated where you couldn't buy a home, been redlined, been put in bad schools, been not been able to be educated properly. You done been in areas where you just automatically have asthma because the air quality is so bad, right? Forced in food deserts, diabetes, high blood pressure, given syphilis on purpose.
Yeah.
Tuskegee experiment. This is real shit. This is all documented.
No conspiracy. Yep.
So it's like you go through all of that in America and it's like, yo, this is the most serious time. Like, it's hard to people to really resonate to that, because it's like, how are you going to tell somebody that if your life is going to get drastically worse when they've already been living through hell?
Yeah.